Hi folks, welcome back. We're going to start another project here. This is a bit longer and a little bit awkward in shape. What we're going to do is Mrs. Claus. Somebody's asked about that, and I thought, you know, that might be an interesting project to work on. So I have a block that's a little bit bigger than what I'm normally used to. It's actually almost 5 3/4 inches long, 1.5 by 1.5 on the bottom, and 1 inch at the top. Now, about 1.5 inches up, I start doing my cone shape like I normally do. You see some lines marked off here, about 1 inch down from the front, and about almost not quite 1 3/4 inches in the back. I started to line out where her hat is. Now she has a cap on, her hair sticks out, then she has her face, and then she has her dress, and you know, I was looking it up on Google. There's a lot there that you can try to get a source of what her costume or what her dress looks like. Some of them have her with a little vest on, some of them have with a cape on, like an apron on her, but you can decide that on your own. So the first thing I did, since I want the head to seem somewhat slanted, and that's one of the reasons I made it a little bit longer. It's harder to put it in my view on the camera because I try to keep things kind of small so you could see everything. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this simply to make it just easier for me to cut it, because I got to cut it across. Now the spray that I'm using is, forgive my voice, I'm still coming over a cold here, so if I sound a little hoarse to you, that's why. The one thing we're going to do is we're going to spray this down a little bit, and so we can cut it up. The spray, as I was saying, the spray that I used to soften up the wood is 50% rubbing alcohol, that 70% strength, and water, 50%, 50 and 50. Okay, so get your knives sharp, and you're going to have to choose which is front, which is back. This will be our front. Again, I'm going to tell you, I've never done one of these before, so I have no idea what it's going to look like. You know, and some people ask me, well, do you have a picture in your head what it's going to look like? Not really. It kind of comes out as I'm doing it, and as I'm working on it, the carving kind of comes out on its own. In a sense, I have a sense of what I want to do to the piece, but how it will actually look, I never really know until I have it done and painted. So if you're thinking, well, I have to have this image in my head before I can really carve anything, that's not true. You can have a general idea what you want and then go from there. Alright, so we have our little line here. We've got that going across, so let me get my knife here, and we're just going to cut across here because we need to cut all this off here. Now when you go to a bigger piece, of course there's more cutting involved, and that's fine. I'm doing just a simple cut across. You can use your thumb, as I'm doing here, to cut across. The reason I like these cone projects so much is you don't have to do a lot of cutting on a bandsaw. It's just 4 basic cuts. You know, I kind of just did it, I eyeballed it, as you can see, but I'll give you a good pattern if you of how to cut that block out. So we're going to go across here, and we're almost to the line there, and then I'll come over on this side and do the same thing. Alright, and we'll come over here and do the same thing. Come down, go right across it. Alright, same thing here. I don't see my line there very clear. Let me make sure I mark that better. Coming up with ideas sometimes can be tough to do, but I do enjoy it. Okay, now we have the top of the hat tilted, okay? So again, this is our front, and you notice the lines are parallel with this in a sense, where we need to cut it off. Let me just cut that off. It just bothers me. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down a little ways, right about here, and we're going to cut it from the underside here, just a little bit, just like so. We're going to do each corner that way. Give us a reference point. Alright. And come right back here. And back up here. Now, these should be pretty well even. Let me take a look. That's not even at all. I can see that. It's amazing when you think you have everything just exactly where you should have it. That's got to come down a little bit more. Let's come up a little bit. Alright. Alright, a little bit higher. There we go. Same thing over here. Alright, now we're going to trim this down, and we're going to have it slanted back a little bit, okay? So we're going to take this off here. We're going to bring this in like this. Alright? A little bit. And then have it come out like so. Alright? The hat itself has a brim to it, so let's cut this off first. Alright. And back here, I'm not gonna, I need to go in. Alright, go in a little bit. Again, you can mark your center line at the top if you like. And you have a general idea how far you should go. But see, this needs to go in. So let's just do a little V-cut here. Okay. Alright, see how we have it slanted out? Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the same distance around for the bottom part of the hat. So we're just going to go around, try to make it as even as possible all the way around. Alright. We're going to do a little V-cut there. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here, a V-cut. 1, 2. Alright. And here the same thing. 1, 2. Now some of this is going to come off. Don't worry about that. This is her little bonnet on the top of her head. Alright. We're not worried about need to do the bottom as well. So let's do this. Try to outline the bottom of the hat. We're going to go up a little bit here. Okay, it's a little bit too low. Alright, I see we're almost out of time, so let me come back and we'll keep working on the hat.